Hey, YouTubers and friends, how are all of you doing tonight? Yeah, no countdown. Oh, what's that? I see Moons Over Miami was the first in line tonight. If you're still here, Moons, thank you. Then mi amigo David Villa. ¿Cómo está usted? Bien? Bien. My subcontractors, there's three Mexicans from Guadalajara or something, or are they from, maybe I think they're from El Salvador. I called them the three amigos, pretty good guys. They're working here, then they go back home, and they're legal. Nugget Brain Wayne Peterson in the house. Good seeing you, Wayne. Then I saw Joyce in here. I hope you had a wonderful time up in Bath, New Hampshire for the rendezvous. And I could have swore hey, Paul C., how you doing? Mark, how you doing? The senile detector is. Stacy. Yeah, I opened it. I'll show it. I don't have map for a long time tonight, so I'll show it here in a little bit. But thanks, Stacy. Spider Mine and what's the rest? Litter box or something? Mr. Meanleaf, hello, and Old 41 Relics, good to see the detector is in here. Get in on that poll down below. I want to see how many do both and only prospect and only detect. Annie, it was good seeing you and Bear on Saturday. I'm kind of bummed because I saw Cassie and Aaron came on Sunday. It would have been nice to finally meet those two. But I did get, well, I can save that for later because I only have Matt for a short window. So, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight here on Tuesday Night Hangout Live. And let me get to my guest so we could chit chat. It's been 5 years since Matt first joined me on Tuesday Night Hangout Live. And he does have some treasure porn. And of course, I wore my gold porn shirt. What can I say? I'm an addict. But so right now, don't go away. Ski Searcher and I will be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. With your host, Ed Marvin. Tuesday Night Hangout Live is a Flash in Your Pan production.
saying hi to a few more people in the live chat.
What's up?
You need a laptop. But
Yeah.
Jeff Y Gold, Rob's in here, and
What's
Moto
up, guys?
Jeff Brewer of Brewers Prospecting, Hobo Rob, and Catch Me in the AM. Good seeing you. Excellent, excellent.
Sweet. What's going on?
Working a lot.
Same, man.
Working a lot.
You been finding gold lately?
No.
No gold.
I went to an outing Saturday. I did take several pieces of equipment. But what I brought, I didn't see any very golden opportunities for the tools I brought to the stream we went to.
Right.
Now, if I had my 4-inch dredge, that would have been a different story because I know Brian Bear Prospecting, Annie's husband, they brought 2 of their 4-inch dredges and they ran one. And from what I understand, the cleanup from the cleanouts weren't that bad. So,
Sweet.
Headed to the creek. Good seeing you, Larry. How you doing, 5 Mile Relic Hunter?
What's up, 5 Mile? I met 5 Mile at a metal detecting event here recently. He's a pretty cool dude.
Right on. And I got to meet some cool people, and I got to see some older friends. You know how events can be, Matt. You know, you reacquaint with those you've already met,
Yep.
and you meet a few new friends. Actually, up there above your bottle, you gave me. How many years ago did I want that
That
on?
thing is 5 years old, and you need to drink that thing.
Shoot. I'm forgetting whose live stream that was on.
Andy, Lost Boys Recovery.
Lost Boys Recovery, that's right.
Yeah, I gave it away and you won it.
Yeah, but there was a gentleman here in Ohio over the weekend at our friend Aquadonkey Prospecting's outing. He's an artist. His channel name is Lord Shadow, and he drew this for me.
Is that a treasure map?
I wish, but
Is that a Goonies map, man?
yeah, right there. See the X? But it was cool. He actually probably can't hear me right now. He actually has art in, is it the Smithsonian? Somewhere. Somewhere prestigious. I forget because I'm blind. Hey, Mr. Lodak, how you doing? Okay, I'm gray. I'm not blind.
Mr. Lodak, what's going on?
Matt's a great guy. I had a great time hanging out. 5 Miles says.
Yeah, I met 5 Mile at the Show Me Treasure hunt in March, this past March in Southeast Missouri. It was a great time. I met lots of great people. It was a good time. It was a seated and natural hunt. Even some Civil War stuff was found there.
Ooh.
It was a highly skirmished area during the Civil War, so it was pretty cool. Plus the cabin we had, we we had like the VIP cabin. Like our cabin was close to all the food trucks and the pavilion where they had all the announcements and the seated field. So it was pretty cool. Very cool event. Yeah, yeah. I met Larry 5 Mile. Got to meet Teresa, the treasure hunter, and Merrill from Militech NYC was there. Finally got to meet him. Met Quarter Hoarder Jason. Um, a lot of cool people there. Great event, very well put together by Mitch Parks. That was their third one too, and all of them have been pretty good. I didn't get to go to the first and second, but they said
Jason might become a nugget hunter, though.
who? Oh yeah.
Did you see
Oh
the
yeah. I seen
quarter
he found
orders,
a gold nugget. I did.
his pictures in Arizona?
Yeah, he's trying out that new Nocta gold machine. Yeah, I seen he found a nugget.
Finding nuggets in the desert.
I'd like to find me a nugget, man. Heck, I'd be happy to find a nugget and some pay dirt, man.
Well, there's a lot of
Where's that good pay dirt
channels
at,
out there
Ed?
that do sell pay dirt.
I bet you know the right ones to go to, huh? For the
I
pay
don't
dirt?
buy a lot of pay dirt.
Yeah.
Uh, I do win some. I've been gifted some, like this guy right here, Stacy from Montana. Um, he's part of the Red Dirt Nation guys. They have a pretty good live show. But Stacy sent me some bags of dirt from the Spider Mine, I think, and I they might both be from the Spider Mine. Um, I'm not quite sure, but one's reddish, Stacy, and one's gray. So with some more rounded rocks in it. So I figure this is from the Hard Rock Mine, Matt, and
Cool.
this is some kind of placer deposit. I've heard them call one kitty litter, and I've heard them call one the spider mine. Yeah,
Wow.
Vendetta's really good for pay dirt.
So like if you buy like an official pay dirt bag, now how does that work? Are you guaranteed to get gold in that bag or is it a gamble? How does that work?
Depends on the seller.
Okay.
There's a lot that will have a minimum, like 1 gram bag, 2 gram bag. You could even get buckets, an ounce buckets from some. And there's some that will guarantee a certain amount, a lot.
Right on.
There's some that you might see that will say non search dredge tailings, guarantee gold. And then you go through it and you spent $50 or something on a couple of specs,
Oh yeah, I can see. I can barely see. Yeah, I see it though.
right?
Full little guy.
Uh, but like Stacy just said, Mike Vendetta pay dirt. Um, he's a real good guy and he does real good bags. And sometimes he has a 100% ROI, return on your investment. Personally, I don't think you should ever go into pay dirt as an investment in gold.
Right.
It's more of a investment in practice material where you do get something
Hmm.
tangible and valuable from. But there's Culver prospecting out of Colorado. And sometimes, like Jeff Brewer's in the house right now, he'll offer some pay dirt, or JP Lonzamore from North Carolina, or Carson Prospecting from California. There's a lot, and you just have to catch them at the right moment.
Right.
And I, when I do buy, I'll buy from Vendetta, I'll buy from Culver, um, or someone having. I'm getting rid of some pay dirt, and so I might buy some. What's that, Mr. Lodak? Everyone who bought pay dirt in the last 5 years says you are wrong. Okay, good point. If they bought it 5 years ago, they're in the money now. That's sure. That's for sure. And Culver Prospecting is selling right now. I,
Gotcha.
I believe Culver even has his own website, but I'm not sure if I have it handy. Vendetta prospecting is pretty easy. I believe it's like vendettaprospecting.com. Um, Dave from Gold Bay, he's more of the higher end, but you're going to get some beautiful gold from like the Mother Lode or his mine in Mexico. He sells some beautiful crystalline gold. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, Carson's does sometimes. And like I said, JP Lanzimore. Uh, Good day, Terry. How's my Australian brother? Uh, I know Jeff Williams sells some, and Dan Hurd sells some. Uh, you
Right on.
just want to be fairly careful and read read the fine print. Now,
I'll holler at you if I ever buy a bag and get your your advice again.
okay, well, I'd be happy to give it to you. Yeah, Grease Monkey, or there's several. There's several out there that will sell a bag. And then sometimes it's nice when you win a bag or you. Now, Mama Bird 70 and Gentleman Prospector, they do really good bags, but I don't think you could ever buy one. I think you have to win it.
Oh yeah.
And Jason E. Jason E. Prospector or Jason E. Miner, Golden Skull Prospecting. He does some pretty good. Like this was his uh, doobie tube, pay dirt tube, and it was a guaranteed quarter gram added, and both of these were added quarters. A lot of times they'll take pay dirt, which could or could not have gold in it, and add quarter gram, half gram,
Oh
1 gram,
wow.
depending on what you want to. Bear prospecting, uh, bearprospecting.com sells pay dirt. That's Annie and Bear. Um, then, oh yeah, ventures in prospecting. And sometimes you could like pay to play on a few channels, right?
Right.
In our finger of the treasure hand, and it'd be like uh, $5 a duck or 7 ducks for $20
Right.
or 25, 20. I forget how it goes. Here, let me look into my banners really quick. That will give me a good idea. Yeah, like a $5 entry, $20 for 5 entries, $25 for 7 entries, or donations, and you could get on. I know like JP Lonzamore does those, and some others. I know Adventure Prospecting, Bonnie and John, they'll do like a duck race thing where you could donate so much and get that. And if your duck wins, you know, I've seen some people put out a lot of money and someone puts out $5 or something,
It
150,
wins.
and wins it all.
Yeah. I've still never found like true gold metal detecting. It blows me away. That's my white whale. I've never found anything solid gold.
One day,
I found plenty of plated stuff. Like I always find plated wedding rings and plated jewelry and stuff, and never real gold, dude. It drives me nuts. But I don't beach metal detect very often. But this year I'm gonna hit the water. I'm gonna try to find some gold in the water because that's where all the guys kill it in the water
well, you
with the
never
gold.
know. One time you might be down on the Ohio River. Wasn't there river pirates in your area along the?
There was yeah, we got the Mississippi and Ohio River that borders southern Illinois, and yep, they sure do.
But David Villa wants to know who got you started.
Who got me started metal detecting? Um, well, the Diggers. I've seen the Diggers on TV and on Nat Geo, KG and Ringy, just like many of other metal detectors. Seen them on there, and then I bought a metal detector. But before that, I had one as a kid and dabbled around with it. But then when I seen them on TV, I was like, it kind of brought it back for me. I was like, oh man, I could do that. I used to do that when I was little, and then they made me want a Garrett, so I went out and bought a Garrett HT50. Then I graduated to a AT Max, and that's what I currently swings a Garrett AT Max. I do have a MindLab Equinox. I have a Garrett Apex and a Garrett Vortex 2 that I use. But so yeah, it's pretty much the Diggers. And then as far as YouTube metal detectors, I started watching Nugget, Noggin, Quarter Hoarder, and the Hoover Boys. Um, and that really encouraged me to get out there and find stuff for myself, history. And so,
Well, David Villa has another one. How long have you been at it?
well, like I said, I dabbled as a kid. So, but seriously detecting, like I didn't seriously start metal detecting until I was, in my later adulthood until about 2017, I'd say. I started to actually get serious, started to research and find places to go and stuff. So, here in Southern Illinois is where I mainly go. I do go out of state sometimes, but not often. But going to start traveling more and go to some metal detecting events and stuff like that. But mainly I detect in Southern Illinois, and I'm about an hour east of St. Louis, southeast of St. Louis, Missouri. And so what we have around here, or what I like to do, is I metal detect ghost towns that are ghost towns because the railroad didn't go through those towns and the towns died. And a lot of these ghost towns, they pop up along some of the old pioneer trails that were headed west towards St. Louis in the Oregon Trail. And so I focus on these ghost towns that pop up along the old trail that goes through my county, which is the Goshen Trail. Used to be an old buffalo trail, and the Indians used it, and then the pioneers started using it, coming from the East Coast, and they started in Shawnee Town.
Isn't your last video or the video before that on the Goshen Trail?
Yeah, I do. Some of my last few videos, yes, have been on the Goshen Trail, me metal detecting on the Goshen Trail. found a lot of cool stuff, metal detecting the Goshen Trail over the years. I do the best in the ghost towns, and me, I like to find the oldest stuff possible. So for me, my type of metal detecting, I focus and hone in on those pioneer trails because that was the earliest settlers coming through. And I like to do farm fields. I do houses, metal detect houses still standing sometimes, but there's a lot of modern trash that goes in with that. Um, and I can detect in that stuff, but I'd rather do like a farm field that's a lot cleaner of a site where there was nothing else there until, like say there was a home there that got tore down in like 1930s, um, and then everything you're finding is stuff from the 30s and before, 1800s and earlier, so early 1900s. But I do love the Civil War stuff. Illinois never seen a major battle in the American Civil War, but there was tons of troops that signed up during the war in Illinois. And you just got to find those places. Like we have camps here where they trained, and camps where they just camped until they got on the train to head off to war. I do have a major train route that goes through my county that I focus on too. And giving away all my secrets now. But the railroad spots are pretty good, and the troops use the pioneer trails a lot too. They traveled those old pioneer trails and stuff. And recently, I actually on the Goshen Trail, I found an artillery button from it was pre-Civil War button, but they probably used it during the Civil War too. But it dated to the 1840s. But I'd say they used it in the Mexican-American War and the Civil War. But it was my first artillery button. I found cavalry buttons, infantry buttons, general service, Civil War buttons, but never an artillery button. So that was cool to find. And I found that at an old stagecoach stop. So it's crazy. You find something somewhere like I found that at a stagecoach stop, and I found out about that site talking to one of the landowners. I already had permission on him, and I did a bunch of sites on his farmland, but he was like, yeah, Dad told me about this one spot, and where there's like 5 wells out there when I was a kid, and I always wondered what it was. He said, son, that's where they watered and stopped at the old stagecoach stop. So I was like, are you kidding me? You have a stagecoach stop on your land? You didn't tell me about this? So he's like, yeah, go out there on this little rise out there in the farm field and go right there on that rise. So I went out there right on the rise where he was talking about, and lo and behold, there's evidence of a stagecoach stop. There's brick and sandstone and square nails everywhere. And so I started metal detecting and
There's a
stuff.
gold coin out there somewhere for you.
I started a swing out there. I found some old buttons from the 1820s, some civilian buttons, and then I found an old lock slide that was early 1800s. Then I found some square nails and stuff, and just evidence, of the old stagecoach stop, and some iron relics. And I found that artillery button, so that was really cool to find. So I looked up. I was like, why would soldiers be, why would I find an artillery button at a stagecoach stop? I'm like, so what's going on? And I knew that soldiers used those old trails and stuff, but they would use them. They were military routes. Them old pioneer roads were military routes. Just think about now, like if a war happened now, the soldiers would be using the main routes, to travel, and that's what they did back then.
30 and
That's what they did back then, and so they would have stopped there to water their horses and rest. There was food there at them stagecoach stops too. They'd serve them food, and also troops would they would travel along with some of the stagecoach people, and that's where the term riding shotgun comes from, because sometimes they just have a regular civilian do it, or like as a guard, and someone would ride up their shotgun, because sometimes they'd rob those stagecoaches and stuff. Sometimes they'd have a soldier protect the stagecoach, because they did get attacked by Indians and robbed by cowboys too sometimes. So.
Well, we have a question here from Stacy, 406 Miner 7. What is your favorite find so far? Most proud of?
I was metal detecting a ghost town, and I found it was a campaign button from 1852. It was a campaign button from General Winfield Scott. He campaigned for president in 1852 for the Whig Party, and it had his face on one side, and it said Union Constitution. on it, and then it had an eagle on the back. Pretty cool find. So for me, that was really historic. I did see one online in the Smithsonian Museum, so that was pretty cool to have found something that is also in the Smithsonian Museum. They're not very common, pretty rare. Mine was in rough shape, but I was happy to find it, you know. So that was, I would say, most historic for me. That's one of the most historic things. Recently, I did find my earliest military button. It was a button that was from the Rifle Regiment. It was like, you know, the American soldiers, some of the earliest soldiers after the War of 1812. The Rifle Regiment built Fort Smith in Arkansas. And they've actually excavated a lot of these buttons, the same type of buttons that I found. I could show you the button, but you're not going to be able to see what's on there. It's very worn, but it's just a small, tiny flat button. It's a cuff button, very small, but it has a bugle on it, and it has 13 stars. It has 13 stars at the top of the button. Oh, here, let me
show it again. Now you're a little bigger.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. But
and Bree wanted to know what state you were in, but I think Larry, oh no, old 41 relics.
If you go back to one of my videos, you'll see it. The thumbnail has a soldier on it, and it says historic on the thumbnail. But that button, it has a bugle on it, and it has 13 stars at the top, and it says rifle in the middle of it. So that is a Rifle Regiment button. So those buttons, they excavated a lot of those at Fort Smith in Arkansas. So those soldiers, that's one of the very first, early American soldiers that started, you know. So that was really historic for me. That was my earliest military button. So very happy to find it.
David Villa wants to know if a bull has ever run up on you while out detecting in the field.
A what? A bull?
Yeah.
No, not a bull. Usually the farm fields that usually the farm fields I do don't have any cows or bulls in them or anything.
Probably cornfields and bean fields.
Yeah, mostly. But found a lot of cool stuff. You know, I hunt arrowheads too a little bit, but not as much as I used to. But I got a lot of stuff here. Oh, I found my first bit boss from the American Civil War. I found a bit boss, knocked that off my list. So that would have went on the side of a cavalry horse, the boss.
Nice.
So that was cool. I want to find a Civil War belt buckle so bad. I just haven't came across one yet. But like I said, no battles here in Illinois. I want to go to some battle states and get some private permissions on those type permissions.
I'd like to find anything War of 1812.
No, a lot of that stuff, a lot of the War of 1812 stuff is found up north by Chicago in the rural areas, you know. But up north, they find a lot of that.
Yeah, well,
old fur trading sites.
That Anthony Wayne established several forts in pretty much my area, and what's his name? Greg Shipley is really into the history of Wayne's Legion and the War of 1812. You might have heard of him.
I haven't heard of him. That's cool though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bree asked what state. She missed it, but Mark, I believe, and Larry answered her. So now I saw someone asking, have you ever done any like mudlarking too? Like old Jigger does once in a while, Bo?
I don't do no diving, but I do. I mean, I'm I'm always looking for surface finds and stuff. I do creek walking sometimes. I haven't in a while. Mainly lately, I've just been metal detecting. That's my main gig, but I do mudlark sometimes. Walk creeks for old bottles. I like old bottles, antique bottles and stuff. I used to do a
Creeks
lot of
are a
that
good
actually. My
place
early
to do
videos.
that.
My editing's kind of sketch on some of my early videos. Not gonna lie, as of everybody's. I'm talking about my first stuff.
Everybody's that
When I
way,
first started,
man.
I got some creek walking videos, man. That I find some bangers on there.
Hi, Barb.
But
Uh,
yeah, I found something real cool. I was metal detecting this old homestead, and I found this tag, and I was like, what the heck is this tag in it? I'll show you it. So it says
oh, White Mountain.
White Mountain Grand on it. And I was like, what in the heck is this tag? It's a brass tag, it's solid brass. And then I found these hinges right next to it. I was like, what the heck are these fancy, hinges or whatever? And so I researched it and I looked up, what do you do when you find something metal detecting? It has words on it. You look it up. So I looked
Right.
it up, and that is a tag off an early icebox, man.
Oh,
So
wow.
it actually dates to the 1890s. Was tickled to find that. I was like, what the heck? So they would have put a block of ice in this freaking box. And that's how they kept their stuff cold, man. Like straight up. A wooden icebox chest. Never
That,
found
that,
nothing like that. So when you find something you never found before, it's always something, So that really tickled me to find that. And I was White Mountain Grand. I was like, what the heck is this tag,
that's cool. I
And
was
then I
thinking
found,
like White Mountains, New Hampshire. I'm like, man, how did something from up there get all the way down to southern Illinois?
oh, I know, dude. Like, so in
At an
back
icebox, huh?
back, and that was metal detected on the Goshen Trail. So back to that subject, the Goshen Trail, you just never know what you're going to find. I found that old military button that I just showed you guys, that
Right.
rifleman regiment button from 1815 to 1817. Found artillery button. That homestead where I found that icebox tag was right along the trail. And I found this. It really surprised me. So I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, cool. A
It
night shield and a
Yeah.
is that
So it says Knights of Pythias. It's a secret society, and so this was a badge you got in 1874. It dates to. I I looked it up in 1874. They gave these out, and Knights of Pythias was like a fraternal organization, kind of like they were an early branch of the Masons. They're like I think they are one of the earliest branches of like Freemasonry, pretty much. That was pretty cool to find that. Knights of Pythias. I don't know exactly what that's all about, but I know there's a secret society or whatever. And I
uh,
guess it said in 1864 during the Civil War they kind of helped try to bring the sides together as a club, if you will. So
oh really?
yeah,
Instead of like the Knights of the Golden Circles tried to make the Confederate live on,
right.
the Knights of Pythias were kind of being like mitigators and
Yeah, they were
trying to
like they
reunite.
try to be like for the community and all about peace is what I read about them, but
Oh, cool.
I might not be 100% on what they're all about. But it was pretty cool to find it, and find a lot of cool stuff on the trail. Like metal detecting Noco. He's on YouTube. He's a guy I met and got the metal detect with too. His name's Mike, and he was watching one of my videos where I mentioned an old outlaw who lived in a house that I was metal detecting. His name was Jack Slade. Jack Slade was an outlaw like a Jesse James. There's even a movie about him and stuff. And so my buddy Mike, metal detecting NoCo on YouTube, he's seen that and then he sent me a book. He's like, dude, I seen you metal detected a house with Jack Slade, okay, in the town of Carlisle. And he was like, that's super cool because I metal detect a stagecoach stop that he robbed in Colorado. I was like,
Oh
no
wow.
way. So he sends me this book. He's like, you got to read this book, dude. And this book is called The Death of a Gunfighter, and it's about Jack Slade's life. So come to find out, Jack Slade traveled on the Goshen Trail that I metal detect and traveled all the way to Colorado from that trail. He probably hopped on the Oregon Trail along the way from Independence, Missouri after they passed St. Louis and headed west towards Independence.
Right.
And that's where the Oregon Trail starts and up into northern Colorado. And so ain't that crazy? It's like me and him were friends and YouTube friends and stuff. And he connected something from history that I was metal detecting here in Southern Illinois all the way up
To
to northern,
something all the way in Colorado.
all the way to Colorado. Ain't that crazy? That's why I love metal detecting, because you start finding what other people find out what other people are finding in their stories and stuff, and you start connecting these dots, man. It's like we're literally, finding the history from early American history, and finding this stuff. And you got archaeologists that do it, but man, it drives me nuts when the archaeologists, they don't use metal detectors. All they do is sift stuff. I'm like, you're missing
Right.
so much stuff. Like, you don't even know. It's like, so that was cool that Mike reached out and told me about that. He sent me that book, man, gave me that book. And it was just loaded full of history of Jack Slade, that outlaw I was telling you about. So I was tickled. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
I
He ended
do
up dying, Jack Slade. He was more, they hyped him up more of a, as more as folklore more than what he was, I think. But he ended up dying. He robbed some places and stuff. And he ended up dying in like the 1870s all the way out in Virginia. They hung him.
hunt 'em.
Yep.
Don't do that.
And then, like, you never know what stories you're going to hear when you're out getting permissions and talking to landowners too. Like, I was metal detecting a while back, some years ago, 4 years ago, in a ghost town I metal detect. And I've found out that Jesse James visited this ghost town. I had no idea about it. Supposedly Jesse James visited this ghost town. And an old guy, he was like in his 70s. And he was like, yeah, he's like, have you heard about Jesse James visiting this ghost town? He stopped me, I was metal detecting, and pulled over and started talking to me. I was like, no, I didn't hear that. And then, so supposedly there's a creek out there in the ghost town. It's called Gun Creek. And, they name creeks and roads after events and people. We know that as amateur historians like me and metal detecting, and you prospect, you got to do research in history a lot of times. And so why is that creek called Gun Creek? That's weird. Well, he told me that supposedly 1876, Jesse James comes down. And after they robbed the bank up in Minnesota, him and his brother and the younger gang got shot up pretty good. So supposedly somehow they made their way to Southern Illinois. And James he was Knights of the Golden Circle member, and
Right.
this ghost town was gone by like 1902, but it was thriving during the war in the 1870s, and there was a mayor of the town. Pretty much, he was like the head of Knights of Golden Circle. So it's like, if you're gonna hide out in a town, you would have picked a town that was pro Knights of the Golden Circle, and they would have hid you. So supposedly, this guy tells me that Jesse James and his brother Frank hid out in the town and worked at a blacksmith's shop in the town. So goes on to say that they shot a guy in a card game, Jesse did, and then fled, threw his gun in the creek. And the creek is called Gun Creek because Jesse James supposedly threw his gun in the creek. So
Now, if you could find that peacemaker.
isn't that crazy? So like, I actually contacted the Historical Society, and there is a document, an account that did happen. And I guess the guy that told me about it is the one who documented that. He said that his elders told this story to him and passed this story down to him. And he's a local of that ghost town, lived there his whole life. That's how the
Cool.
Historical Society gets their information, from the locals
Right.
who've lived there forever. So, like, I'm right now trying to get a sign, and this would have to be worked out through the landowner. Landowner pays for the sign. I'm trying to get a sign that documents the event, because that would be huge for my county, man. That would bring like tourism into the county. We're a small county, or a small town,
Right.
county, and stuff. So that would be really cool. Also working with the Historical Society to get other signs up. Like I'm doing another site, which the Jesse James one's huge. Like, there needs to be a sign there that documents that event. Is there solid evidence to prove that? No, but I mean, if it's the story's been passed down by elders who have lived there all their lives, usually those stories check out. So actually, well, there was talks of me being on a TV show of an episode with somebody, Gypsy Jules. You guys know Gypsy Jules?
Yep.
We were supposed to maybe do
I
something with
have a
that.
Gypsy Jules original right there.
Yeah,
I did.
we were supposed to maybe do something. Maybe in the future there might be something like that, a show about it. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
But
Gypsy Jules painted that for me. After
yeah,
one of the times she was on my show.
yeah, that'd be cool. Like it'd be cool. It'd be perfect for like a TV show or something. Like that's like I
That'd
know
be
on the Beyond
cool.
Oak Island show they did tracking the footsteps of Jesse James and stuff. So that would be perfect for that show. Like that's an insane story. Like, it blew me away. But I'm also working with the Historical Society on another site. There's a site of one of the earliest pioneers in my county who got murdered by Indians, him and his son.
I
And
shouldn't
so
have attached that picture, Matt.
I'm,
It
so
was hard getting it back up.
oh yeah. But I'm working to get another sign put up where so I found out where the earliest pioneer in my county, one of the earliest pioneers in my county, had a cabin and had been metal detected in that. And he was murdered by Indians, him and his son, during the War of 1812. And the Historical Society had no idea where his cabin was. I found it by talking to the landowners, and that cabin's been in their family for over 100 years in the land. The cabin ain't actually there, but the foundation stones are. And I'm trying to work with the Historical Society to have a sign put there that talks about the pioneer. His name is Andrew Moore, and just talk about what happened. Supposedly he was cutting wood and some Indians were helping him, and he accidentally, or he might have did it on purpose, not sure, cut one of the Indians' fingers off while cutting wood. It's probably accident.
Ooh.
Anyways, the Indians didn't take kindly, and it was during the War of 1812 when Indians were hostile towards early pioneers. So they ended up finding a skull that matched the tooth in his dental work matched, and his wife ID'd it to be his skull. Found it not too far from where his cabin sat. They never did find his son's body, but they say his wife used to carry around his skull as a conversation piece sometimes. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, kind of on the morbid side, huh?
Yeah, it's like you say, you never know what you're going to find out when you go and get permission to these places, man. So I love talking. I love local history is the best. Like your local history is going to speak volumes. It's usually history that the rest of America hasn't heard of. So that's why I love YouTube. I can get the message out there of my local history to others and stuff. Like the Jesse James story is freaking crazy. I guarantee you nobody else has heard that story before, out there in YouTube land. I was
Well,
going to do a
you heard
whole,
it here first, right?
yeah, you heard it here first. I did mention it in a past video, but I didn't go into detail about it. But I'll probably release a whole big YouTube video about it eventually, and
You should.
really try to edit it good, and metal detect in the ghost town where he visited and stuff, and that happened. So found a lot of cool stuff out of that ghost town. Now my buddy did find a Confederate sword hanger, which is a 100% authentic Leech and Rigdon sword hanger with snake scales on it. And it's a Confederate sword hanger from the American Civil War. Why is that in a ghost town in Southern Illinois? I have no idea. There was a lot of Southern sympathizers, in that ghost town. Or it could have just been something a Union soldier grabbed from a Confederate soldier on the battlefield when he was dead, laying on the ground, picked it up, said, I lost my sword hanger, I'm going to borrow his, brought it back to
Right.
Southern Illinois and lost it. That's very well possible too. But
Things get around. I have several questions for you, Matt. Uh,
fire away.
Well, David Villa asked us a little bit while back. What is your go-to detector out of what you have now, since you have a few?
Well, out of like I got Mind Lab Equinox 800, I got a Gear Apex and a Vortex I just got that haven't barely used it all. Um, that's gonna be my Garrett AT Max because I know that machine like the back of my hand. You know, I think the best machine is the machine you know the best. That's the machine I took out the most, and I learned like the back of my hand. I know how to use that machine, and so I feel safer, and I do want to experiment with other machines. I want to try out the Deus 2 and some of the Nocta machines and Nocta Legend 2, and the Manticore, Mindlab Manticore. But as of right now, the AT Max is my go-to machine. I know it, man. I know it really good, and I find all my stuff with it. I found tons of items that I never thought I'd find,
Uh,
and
let, let
it
me
goes pretty
say,
deep. It goes pretty deep too. It's a deep seeker, man. I find tiny, tiny targets with that AT Max. Now in Southern Illinois, we do not have very highly mineralized soil around here. It's not
right,
clay. It's not a lot of minerals going on. So the Max works good in my area. I don't ever have any trouble with like mineralization or anything. So if
okay.
you use it in some other areas with highly mineralized soil might have a little bit more trouble. Out there in Culpeper, Virginia and stuff, it's really highly mineralized and stuff, and you can't get away with using certain machines. But for Illinois, it's a great machine.
Stacy, 406 Miner, where is your bucket list place to search for treasure?
Oh, well, probably, I mean, pretty simple, really. I really love the Civil War stuff. I'm a Civil War buff, history buff, but really love the Civil War stuff. So, I mean, any major Civil War battlefield site I have not got to do yet. On private permission, obviously. I would love to do somewhere. I had a private permission on the Battle of Shiloh down in Tennessee.
Okay,
And
here.
we waited too long and didn't end up getting the metal detected because we waited too long. Then something happened with the landowner, so we couldn't detect it. But yeah, I know a
Let
lot of
me
guys get to
put
do
a
that all the
twist
time.
on. Let me
But
put a twist on that question. If you could go to anywhere, any battlefield you want, no holds bar, able to keep and donate. Of course, it's history. You want to share it with the world. But if you had permission granted, no matter if it's monument, national park, whatever battlefield, where would that be?
probably Gettysburg. Probably Gettysburg, man. That was the big one for Civil War stuff, or maybe a Revolutionary War battle. A big one.
Hmm, yeah, that'd
That
be
would be
cool.
huge. I would love to get
Uh,
out east, man, and do some of them sites out east. Like, I have so many YouTube buddies that live out east, and they're digging the large cents and the big coppers and the colonial stuff. And it's like, I have found a little bit of that here in Southern Illinois, doing the old pioneer trails. If you're gonna find it around here, you're probably gonna find it along the trail. Um,
right.
it and my friend, well, he was digging along the trail, and he digs with me sometimes, and he found a cartwheel penny, which is 1797. So that's a super early coin to find, even this far out west. And I'm not even, I'm in Southern Illinois. I wouldn't even consider myself like far west. I'm like Midwest kind of, you know. Once you get in Missouri, you start getting west. St. Louis
Right.
Gateway of the West. But the further you get, man, out west, it's harder to find stuff. Like I find Indian head pennies all the time, but like I find largies here, but to find a largie is a big deal. Like, and it's usually a braided hair. I've only found 5 matron heads here, and I never found anything earlier than a matron head as far as large scents go, which drives me nuts. So if I were to go out east, I would be finding coppers left and right, colonial coppers, King Georges, and all that. But I'll have to stick with the braided hairs around here for now. But yeah, I would love to go out east and link up with some of my other YouTube buddies that dig in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and
Right.
all them places, man, for sure. It will happen one day. I wanna go to I wanna go to Digstock. I wanna go to that. And I'm a Civil War buff, so I want to attend Digging in Virginia. That's one of the big ones over there, Digging in Virginia.
Oh,
Every
Matt's
year I'm like, oh, I want to go, and I don't get to go, but it's a good one I hear, and I always watch Matt Gone Digging. He always goes to that, and he always has a
I
good time there.
wouldn't even mind making it to one of Matt's outings because I'd love to
Yeah,
have
he has an event now, don't he? I seen.
yeah, Gone Digging, Matt.
Yep, I see he's either working on one or might be having one or something. I know he's had at least one or two, I think,
He's had a
events out there.
couple, and I'm sure he'd be promoting it over on Facebook or something. But
Yeah.
I'd like to go find a megalodon tooth and stuff.
Heck yeah, that would be sweet. Yeah, see, we don't have any like places where the ocean leaches in to find that stuff. We're not close enough to the ocean, but yeah, like what South Carolina and stuff, they places like that along the coast, they find that stuff. That would be awesome.
PA, how you doing?
I do find plenty of Native American though. I found this not long ago.
Oh, that's
I think
was
it's a
that
big
a scraper or was that just
man. I don't.
a
You know
rough
what?
from
Somebody
making
tell me
something?
because I think it's a scraper. It has a big man. It fits just like that in your hand. It has a big indentation right here. I think it's a big scraper, but man, it stuck out like a sore thumb in the field.
I bet. I bet.
And I found this.
Eva Via has a question for you. How do you find it hard to get permissions from landowners?
Around here, people are pretty freaking nice, especially like the farmers. If you go up and you're sincere and you don't act like you're out there just trying to find silver and gold, and you come at them in a respectful way and let them know right off the bat that you love freaking history like I do, and I'm talking to you guys right now, you can tell
Right.
that I like history. So right off the bat, you got to let them know you're there, number one, for the history and to save the history. And if you can do that, you got them. And because once they realize this dude really loves history, and if he finds something on my land, even if he keeps it or if I keep it, it's gonna, it's about the history. So a lot of the people don't even want to keep this stuff. If they're not into history, it bores them. So they're just like, you can just keep it. I offer for them to keep this stuff, but yeah, just don't go up there and be like, hey, I like to find silver coins and gold jewelry. Yeah, obviously don't say that. Just come at them with the history. Just when you start talking to them about your history, you'll know the history of the area you're metal detecting usually, and you start talking to them about that, and just like, did you know the Goshen Trail rolled through here on your land, or and that. Just start talking to them about the history of the area. That usually sells them right there. If you start doing that, then they're gonna be like, okay, this guy really knows his history stuff and he
Right.
respects it. So they'll usually give you permission. Now, if you're trying to get permission to like a house that's still standing and you're asking to dig in somebody's yard, sometimes that can be a little bit more difficult because you're actually digging holes in someone's yard and not just in their farm field. I would say if they have a really perfect lawn that's got that perfect green grass, nice house, and
Well,
you can
that's
just
the
tell
kind of
that,
lawn I probably wouldn't even ask. Really
yeah, I mean,
pristine.
sometimes those are really good, but when I first started metal detecting, I was a sucker for those type permissions. I'd go for the juicy Victorian home sitting on the corner, and a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, those houses have been hit, man. They look so tempting, and it's like, yes, that house looks juicy. I want to metal detect that house. It's got to be loaded. And then you'll get permission, and you might find a little bit, but usually you're only going to find a little bit because Joe Blow down the street's done asked years ago, 20 years ago, and done detected it with a metal detector and done found most of the stuff. However, there's usually always something left. You might just pull that one seeded coin that he missed. And that's happened a lot of times. I'll think it's just completely dug out. I'll knock on one of those houses, it's still
Yeah,
standing.
but if he was out there in a big old blue box white coin master from who knows the 70s,
Yeah,
you going in with your Garrett or like your Knox 800.
right. Yeah, the metal detectors are a
know,
lot better now than they used to
better
be.
tools now than way back then.
Also that, and like say the guy metal detected when the ground was super duper dry. Okay, number one, it's gonna wear him out faster. It's hard to dig, in that dirt when it's hard. And then number two, his metal detector ain't gonna go as deep when the soil's really dry. So after a good rain, then your detector will go a little bit further, and the targets are more conductive. So you might hear a coin on edge that you might not have heard when the ground was super dry. So there's a lot of factors. Also, a mole could have went through the ground and was wiggling by that coin and moved that coin a certain way 5 years
So you
after
could
that guy
see it
visited the
better.
site. And that coin turned a certain way. And then when you come along, bleep, 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 then you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because of that mole. So
Right.
there's a lot of factors. They could have come in there and messed around with the dirt, the landowners doing landscaping, and then you come along 5 years later and then they unearth something that you're gonna find that the other guy wouldn't have, A lot of factors that people don't think about when it comes to a house being detected before, but I have gotten completely smoked. I don't kill it all the time. I'll go to houses and get completely smoked, or I'll do a farm field. It blows me away, and I'll be out in the middle of nowhere, and I'll get a permission on the trail, and even these old trail spots in the middle of nowhere, and I'll think, man, nobody's been here, and since the farmer or a farmer, and that's it. You wouldn't think anybody touched the site with the metal detector, and I'll get out there and I'll start swinging, and I will not find hardly anything. Like, so even those sites sometimes have been hit. It's getting harder and harder to find sites that have never been metal detected before.
Right.
It's hard. If you find a site that's really loaded, and not only loaded, but like with time period stuff, like we have a ghost town. You're blessed if you find a site like that. Like we have a ghost town that we do, and we only find stuff from the time period of that ghost town. The ghost town was established by 1852, and it was completely gone by about 1872 or 1875. The town was no more. So when we go out there in Miltech, nothing else has been in that farm field besides that old ghost town. It is like being a kid in a candy store. You go out there, and all we find is time period stuff. The only modern trash that we find in that site is maybe a piece of a Bud Light can that some people booze cruising threw out the window, and old man farmer, chops it up with his combine, and I'm finding little pieces of that. Other than that, it's all time
Right.
period stuff. So we're all the coins we find out there are flying eagle cents from the 1850s, half dimes from the 1850s. Most of the coins are 1850s. We found braided hair larcens from 1850s out there. We found trimes, 3-cent silver trimes out there. Probably three of them out there actually,
Wow,
and
nice.
a lot of half dimes out of there. I found my first seated half out of there, an 1854 seated half, silver half. That was really cool. It was really melted. Don't know what happened to that coin, but it was kind of bubbly, so it looked like it had been in a fire. Found a lot of Civil War buttons out of there. Well, why do you find Civil War buttons out of a ghost town? It's because the ghost town was time period during the war, and you had soldiers that were coming home from the war, and maybe they were stationed there for something or getting supplies. They dropped their buttons, and also find Civil War bullets in the ghost towns a lot of times. Give away all my secrets, but that's where I find a lot of my Civil War stuff in Southern Illinois.
Take
Is the
notes,
ghost towns.
everybody. Take notes.
Yeah, like that's the ghost towns are my bread and butter. The soldiers were there. They used the towns back then, the ghost towns, so they're dropping their bullets and their buttons. Hopefully one day they drop a belt buckle and I'll find that too, but it will happen one day. I'll find a box plate or I did find part of a Civil War belt buckle assembly. Now this has a number stamped on it. This is a belt keeper, and this would have been part of a Civil War belt buckle assembly. And so the sword belt, actually a model 1857, I do believe, sword belt plate would have been hooked right here. And this is stamped with 797 on it right here.
Yeah,
so the buckle, if I would have found the buckle, the sword belt buckle that went with this, that buckle would have been stamped with the same number, 797. I searched and searched for it. I could not find the belt buckle that goes to this belt
maybe
keeper.
someday you will.
I tried different machines. I tried the Knox. I tried, a bigger coil. I just didn't find it. So it's either not there or somebody detected the site and found it. I don't know before me. But
or maybe it's in the dump and you have to find it in the dump because he's like, oh, I broke my buckle.
Yeah.
You threw it in the dump.
I don't know, man. I searched that site and searched it. I did find 4 infantry buttons out of that site. There's one of them. Well, one that actually I found this at another site in Ghost Town, but this is one that was pretty much like it. This is an infantry button. This is another Ghost Town find though, infantry eagle button.
Nice.
Then I found this. This is another bucket lister for me. This is it's a spur. Yeah, this is a Civil War era spur I found in that same Ghost Town. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And I found the other piece to it that snapped off. See,
you found the other piece to that. You'll find that buckle. Keep trying.
You can find Civil War stuff in Illinois. You just got to work for it. Like I said, the ghost towns, man. This is
some found here in Indiana or Ohio and Indiana as well.
Yeah. Here's something really cool I found. This right here. Someone asked me what my most historic find was. Well, I told you, that one item, the Winfield Scott campaign token. This is another one. This is a saloon token. I always wanted to find a freaking saloon token. This is another ghost town I was doing along another pioneer trail, is a Kaskaskia St. Louis trail, and it headed towards St. Louis, Missouri from Southern Illinois. And this says Elliott Bros Saloon. Elliott Bros Saloon. And you probably can't tell, but it has a faint 5 in the middle. It's got a hole punched through it. And it literally says saloon on it.
Nice.
And that was found in a ghost town. So it blows me away because I always want to find one, but literally like a pioneer cowboy probably bought whiskey with that thing. And I searched Elliott Bros Saloon online, and that's what was on the token. And the only thing, I couldn't find nothing local about an Elliott Brothers Saloon. But I did find one picture, and I wish I had it to throw up, but I did a YouTube video on it where I found that token, and I show a picture about it, and I tell about it. But the only Elliott Bros Saloon I found linked to Corrine, Utah. And Corrine, Utah is about 20 minutes from where they drove the Golden Spike when they finished the Transcontinental Railroad, when they finished that in the 1850s, 1870s. I don't know when that was. I forgot, but it's 20 minutes from that. Corrine, Utah is a railroad boomtown. They had a lot of saloons and stuff there. So there's a picture online in this old saloon with these cowboys in this old saloon. And in the background, on the back wall, it either says Ole Elliott or Cole Elliott. I'm not exactly sure, but that's the only saloon that I can link to that token. So, man, isn't that crazy? Like,
It is.
and that that ghost town I found that in was a stagecoach stop as well, and it headed to the west, towards St.
Right.
Louis. So maybe someone passing through come through there, and they ran a stage or a Pony Express too, and they had a mail route, and they would carry the mail on the stagecoach route too. So there's absolutely no idea. I mean, maybe a pioneer from Corrine, Utah, and they would go back and forth too. They would go down these trails east to west because there was old salt mines. And if you know anything about salt in the early days, pioneer days, and days of the Indians, they used salt for everything. And salt mines were huge. They'd actually have wars over salt. And there was
it's more valuable than gold at one time.
There was a huge salt mine down by Shawneetown, Illinois, and so they would go back and forth east to west and moving salt. So, I mean, there's no idea how that token got there, but I really do think it's from Corrine, Utah. I reached out to the Corrine, Utah Historical Society and stuff, and they didn't seem to know a lot about it, but it was very cool to find that.
I love tokens too. We're over halfway through the show, Matt. I don't know about you, but I need to use the restroom. I'm getting old and I have a lot of coffee in me.
Yes, sir.
So if you're able to Bill Marsh, Ed, Matt should post his token here. Probably someone who knows. Tokencatalog.com.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely look into that. Thanks, Ohio.
Bill, if you put the HTTPS and do the whole URL, it will make it clickable. And that way Matt could come back and actually click it. But then again, he could copy it and say, go to website.
I'll definitely check it out. Tokencatalog.com. Have to remember
it. Give Matt and I 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And we'll be back, or I'll be back. I was only supposed to have Matt for like a half hour, he said, but here it's been an hour and 13 minutes.
It's okay.
Don't go away. Matt and I be right back. If not, you're stuck with just me. No, but we'll be back. We got more to come.
Take a break, but don't go far. Gold fever's burning like a shooting star. Grab a snack, stuff gold without still more stress. Let 'em spit the talk I walk about. Shovels in the dirt, pickaxes high. Treasures waiting, reach for the sky. Tuesday night, Hangout Live, don't go away. We'll be back real soon, there's more to say. Legends of gold, secrets untold. Hunt's not over, there's more to unfold. From lost mines lands to rivers wide. Prospectors digging side by side. Old time stories when they do find skulls and treasure. It's the richie high, so preacher time. Shovels in the dirt, pickaxes high. Treasures waiting, reach for the sky. Tuesday night, Hangout live, don't go away. We'll be back real soon, there's more to say. Legends of gold, secrets untold. The hunt's not over, there's more to unfold. As Mother Sean LeBron has his finger on the hair behind, that's our gold.
Well, welcome back. Thanks for still being here, Matt.
I'm here. Oh. Yeah, we were only supposed to do 30 minutes and we're like rolling on through. I love it. You get me talking about history and I can go all night.
Well, you're making my job really easy tonight, Matt. I don't mind one bit.
Yep. Yeah, check out this bell. This is freaking huge. I found this recently.
Oh, that's cool. Was that in the ghost town too?
That was just that old homestead. But that was pretty cool, man. Freaking huge bell. Don't have the dinger in it, but that was cool.
I could see the mother out on the porch though.
Maybe it's the dinner bell. Yeah, definitely. That's what I was thinking.
Come and get it.
Yeah, I found another bucket lister. Freaking. And every time I find something I never found before, that I wanted kind of, it just always happens out of nowhere. This is a railroad lock key.
Oh, wow.
And so it's actually embossed, and you ain't gonna be able to read it, but I'll read it to you. It says STL and SERW, so St. Louis and Southeastern Railway. And it ran in the 1870s. And it would have unlocked a lock just like this, kind of. I found this too this past year.
Oh,
so this is a railroad lock. And I found this in 3 separate pieces, and I fit it all together. So that was pretty cool. That was an old homestead.
How far apart were the pieces?
This is an old homestead along the trail. A few yards apart. But this one was actually the same rail line. So that was another thing I never found, a complete railroad lock. And then I found, a railroad lock key. So that was it. Well, I found the key at a different site. They weren't at the same site. But that was pretty cool. So I'm knocking off some bucket listers this year, Now, like I said, when you metal detect, you never know what you're going to get. It's just whatever pops out, You can try to shoot for that one thing you've never found. Like I said, I've never found anything solid gold yet, and it drives me nuts. But
one day,
it's always plated, man. Like I found I was doing some curb strips, and if you don't know about metal detecting, curb strip, we call them curb strip. It's a strip of grass in between the sidewalk and the road.
Right.
Well, around here, it's legal to detect them, at least where I'm at, because it's kind of like walking down the sidewalk. You have free use to use the grass. So, anyways, I found a big old ring. It pulled out of the hole, and it looked gold at first. Then I started seeing flakes on my fingers, but before that, I seen 18K stamped inside of it. But when I started to see the flakes on my fingers, I was like, that's not good, And I was like, it's freaking plated. It was heavy though. It had the weight. That thing weighed a ton, and it had the weight of an 18 gold ring, But
right.
It's got to be plated because the gold's flaking off on the fingers, So real gold ain't gonna flake off on your fingers. So that really had me go. One day, dude, I'll get that real gold ring.
You'll get it.
This is my wedding band. See, here's my wedding ring. That's solid 14 karat gold. No, see, there's no flaking on that. You can just tell it's the real deal. and then when you dig gold out of the ground, if you metal detect, it's usually, if you're digging old sites, it turns it green and maroon color. The plating wears off, and then you have the nickel and the copper underneath, and it turns
Right.
greenish reddish color. That's how you can usually always tell. If you start to see any green or red underneath that gold, it's plated. It definitely fools you. Fool's gold. That's why I call it. That's fool's gold. I find all the time.
Well, I guess it's a detectorist fool's gold, right?
Yeah. Like here's a plated ring I found, and you see just how dark it is, and
Right.
But it was a cool ring though. Check it out. I think it's either plated silver or gold. I don't know, but the plate's pretty much all gone. But it was a cameo ring. Look at that. This is something else I never found before. I always wanted a cameo ring. It's a little beat up, but it has a woman's face on it.
That's cool.
So it's probably made of ivory. Hey, that tickled me to find that because I had never found a cameo ring.
Now you have. Another treasure for your chest.
Yep. And Southern Illinois, I find a lot of arrowheads. Sometimes I'm not looking for them, and they just pop up while I'm metal detecting farm fields. Sometimes I go to certain sites that I look specifically for arrowheads. I found a bunch of points. A lot of them are early woodland, but I found a lot of archaic. There's some old Indian sites around here, Native American. Little bird point right here. See, I love this one. I like the little stuff. Like I like finding little antique bottles, the miniature ones. I like finding little miniature arrowheads. It's just cool.
That's cool.
That's
a sharp eye right there. Oh yeah. I like arrowheads. I've only found 2 though, and they've both been prospecting.
See this one. See how this one's kind of slanted?
Yeah.
It's kind of slanted on this side. This was a knife.
Knife blade. I found a nice Adena point in Indiana one time.
Oh yeah, I found one Adena blade. This one I don't know if it was a knife or some sort of tool to maybe, I don't know. Maybe
they had to rework it.
There's an indentation right here, and it's on purpose. And I don't know if maybe they used it to maybe shave a wooden arrow shaft, something like that. But it's really cool. I mean, look at it. It's got like the end of it. The base has like a chocolate dip type looking flint on the end, and then it's neat. It's different. I don't know. Sometimes I find them, man. I just don't know exactly what the purpose was, but trying to figure that out.
That for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not an expert, on arrowheads.
That could have been for making arrowheads, actually. Or I mean, making the shafts for the arrows.
Yeah, dude, Southern Illinois. Well, it's more closer to St. Louis, but has the biggest mound site in the United States called Cahokia Mounds. And if you've never been there before, and you've never been like over in this area, and you're looking for a historic place to go, now the museum has been shut down for about 4 or 5 years, but they're doing supposedly remodeling yet. Taking a long time to get it together, but it's supposed to be open back up here within the year or so. But right now you can still walk the big mound there. It's called Monk's Mound. It's called the Cahokia Mounds World Heritage Site. And it's right smack dab next to East St. Louis, which East St. Louis, if you know anything about that, it's a pretty bad area. But
that's by Rose next
yeah, Rose lives up there. I remember her telling me that. But yeah, so Cahokia Mounds is right next to that. Like you got strip clubs and everything, and it's like right here. And then you got the biggest site of mounds, Native American mounds in the United States. It's right next to like the hood. So, but it's a really awesome site. When you walk on top of Monk's Mound, you got to walk these stairs that take you all the way to the top of Monk's Mound. And you can see the arch in St. Louis from the top of the mound. And you can see the Mississippi River in the background when you stand on top of this mound, and you feel like you can see everywhere on top of this thing. So I think they believe the site to be established like 10,000 years ago or something like that. But they found so many things there. You can look up online. There's YouTube videos. Just type in Cahokia Mounds.
I
It's
believe
it
I've
was a
heard of
little
it
city
before.
or a huge city. And so I actually feel like some of the arrowheads I'm even finding over here by me, because I'm only like maybe 45 minutes away from that, 50 minutes. And some of the arrowheads I'm actually finding over here is from that culture. They call them the Cahokian or whatever. But there's a lot of different tribes around here. But so yeah, man, it's just right, not too far from me, Cahokia Mounds. It's huge. There's a lot of stories and myths and legends that go on about that mounds. Even when they built the arch in St. Louis, now I always heard that there was there was Native American burial ground that they found. It's actually when they built St. Louis, there's so many Indian mounds they had to remove building St. Louis. First off, well, there's a big mound right there where the arch is, right next to the Mississippi River when they built the arch. Everybody has heard Native Americans were found there, burial ground, Native American burial ground. However, what they don't tell you is there was 3 giant skeletons found there, 9-foot tall skeletons in those mounds, and giant hand axes that they used buried with the giants. So there is myth and folklore of giants being found at Cahokia Mounds supposedly too.
They found
It,
them here in the Ohio Valley too, at
yeah,
Serpent Mounds, I believe.
there's down south, a little further southern Illinois, in well, Giant City State Park, where they got Garden of the Gods down there. They say, and they will tell you, these cliff formations and stuff, they're made by, because there used to be water here, thousands of years ago. But however, in certain parts of these rock formations, they're man-made. There's like doorways that you can tell are man-made doorways that are 9 foot tall. And then they found giant skeletons down in the area close to that too, you know. And people think like, oh, giants, like these things are like 20 feet tall and stuff. Like, well, we're talking about like 9 foot tall skeletons, 10 foot tall. Like even Goliath, I think they say Goliath in the Bible was, they claimed
He
him to be
was just
like
a
11
little
foot
over
tall.
9,
Don't
I
quote me on
think.
that, but I think they said he was 11 foot tall.
Yeah, and his 2 brothers.
Hey, with all the talk of there being aliens and stuff now released in the news, is it so hard to believe that there was giants here too? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Uh,
some basketball players are pushing 8 foot tall, 7.5 foot tall. To
I,
me,
I
that's
think
a giant.
I think I'd have to go with giants before aliens.
Right?
Bigfoot before aliens too.
Hey, can't leave out Squatchy. Oh, Sasquatch.
Uh,
The thing with me is like, man, where's the body? Where's the body? If Sasquatch is real, where's the body at, dude? Nobody finds the body.
he isn't the world champion hide and seeker for a reason.
I want to be a believer in Squatchy, but maybe he's a fallen angel, and he can just disappear when he wants to.
Well, he's the world champion hide and seeker.
I guess so.
Uh, Now, aliens, if you want to get into that,
That's a rabbit hole.
I don't think aliens are outer space. I think it's all interdimensional.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think they're interdimensional beings and not like outer space.
Right.
So I believe in giants a lot quicker than I would any green man coming from Mars, Pluto, or Uranus or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, I agree.
And I think there's Squatch. I just think they're very, very savvy with their dead and stuff. But,
There's a lot of Native American stories of Sasquatch too.
and
So they were making accounts of seeing them as well, way before our time.
oh yeah, from coast to coast too. You know, tons of different tribes and people have uh, lore about Sasquatch or Yeti or whatever, and
There was there was a story in Southern Illinois that was really big. They called it the Big Muddy Monster in the 1970s, and this is why people claim that the story is real, is because the couple who told and seen the Big Muddy Monster Sasquatch, they were they were committing adultery. I'll just say it that. So they were parking um, in a secluded area, and nobody knew that they were there. Like they were meeting up, and they seen the Sasquatch, and they gave an account of seeing the Sasquatch. So you know, why would they sacrifice their secrecy of them, sneaking around to
if they
tell about
met it,
Sasquatch? See what I'm saying? So
yeah, if it was a lie, they just
right,
having a fling and come
right.
out, come out of their affair just to.
To
Nah, I
tell
don't
about a
see it.
Sasquatch.
It has to be true.
They said it was like 9 foot tall with hair, covering.
Like if Bree is still in here, Bree's like Hobo Minor or uh, Hobo Rob and Dive from the Pacific Northwest. They have all kinds of Sasquatch lore,
They made a movie about that too. Is I think it's called The Big Muddy Monster. Actually, um, it's kind of
about
a low budget, very low budget film. But they
is
made one
that
about it.
like the Legend of Boggy Creek?
They
It's
call it
the
the Big
same
Muddy
thing.
Monster because they seen it by the Big Muddy River. Is why they call it that. What was you saying?
Well, the Legend of Boggy Creek, it's like a swamp monster, which it looks like a wet stinking Bigfoot.
Oh
He's
yeah,
in the swamp.
I've heard of that faintly. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, there's tons of stories out there, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
heard an account. I forgot what the YouTuber was, but man, it was a really well made video, and the guy made an account. And he's probably about your age, and this is probably 40 plus years ago. They were camping in their freaking tent. They was in the middle of nowhere, in the woods, and I think it was even like on private ground, and the freaking well, he claims it would have had to been a Sasquatch, and it wasn't a bear, and it attacked their tent, man, and they couldn't see very well because the thing was attacking their tent. They was inside the tent, so they just started firing, dude. These are old school, like rednecks, like they, always packing the heat, and so they knew it was an animal, and they said they seen glowing eyes or whatever, and a big tall thing, hairy thing. Once they got out of the tent when it was running off, but these guys just started firing. Who who does that? Those type of guys do that, I guess. But anyways, they found chunks of like bone, and this guy was like, "Yeah, I hope it wasn't nobody in no costume." I couldn't believe he was telling the story because, like, man, what if you really shot like a person or something who is. But they said that they even went to the police station, told them about this. Like, look, we fired off on this thing. We don't know if it was a guy in a costume or what, but we claim it was a Sasquatch, and there were no reports of dead bodies or anything. They searched the area, never found anything. But the way he told the story, though, I was like, wow, man, this dude really acts like he's telling the truth. Like, something attacked their freaking tent. I wish I could think of the name of the YouTuber, but it was good
Bill's
stuff.
like Ohio Relic Hunter, Bill Marsh. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't have said your full name, Bill. Bill M. Where's Bill H? Um, is that the one, Matt, where they go back to the Coleman camo stove was twisted like a beer can?
That does sound familiar. It could possibly be the same video.
Camp stove.
I think that might be it. I think actually it was, well, it might have been in Missouri, Southeast Missouri region is where that account was, if I remember right. Which was crazy because I just went to a metal detecting event in that area. I think that's why it popped up on my news feed because I was watching videos from Southeast Missouri, and then that account of the Bigfoot from that area popped up.
Angelia lives near Werewolf Holler in Shelby County, Indiana, and Bigfoot has been spotted here a few times.
Yeah, I've never encountered any Bigfoot or anything like that out metal detecting or treasure hunting yet. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm in some secluded places, man. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, geez, I hope I don't find nothing crazy or laying out here or see something crazy.
Right on, Josh. Every little bit helps me pay that StreamYard subscription.
Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, we don't have no bears or anything around here, so we used to. Pioneers freaking killed them all off. Used to in our courthouse here, Jefferson County. There used to be the last bear killed in our area, and they had it in our courthouse in a glass case. It's pretty cool. Little brown bear. Ain't that sad? Here's the last bear killed. It's like you guys really had to hunt.
That is
Well,
sad,
just for sport. I mean, they
poor
mainly
little
hunt.
Boo Boo.
Yeah, hunting them out just like the buffalo, man. Like they just annihilated buffalo. A lot of them just.
At one time now, yeah, but you go out west now, there's some herds that are huge.
I heard they're really growing the buffalo population out there and stuff. That's great. It's pretty good to eat. Like, you ever had a buffalo burger or buffalo meat, buffalo jerky?
Yeah, yes.
It's really good.
Back in Washington, it was domesticated bison. It wasn't wild or nothing.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, it's really lean, good meat. Good meat.
Yeah, I went to this restaurant. It's called Caney Forks. It was in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was right by the Grand Ole Opry, and they had tons of wild game and stuff to eat. They had buffalo burger, they had elk, venison, they had frog legs, alligator bites. That's my type of restaurant, like all the wild game and stuff they don't normally have at restaurants. And love the cowboy food stuff the pioneers used to eat. Even history buff and all that, but like even like eating foods that the pioneers and stuff used to eat. I love that. Like trying foods they ate during the Civil War and what they ate on the pioneer trails back then and stuff. To me, that's cool. Like I want to try to make a recipe of like some biscuits they made on the trail, or if you've never heard of Cowboy Kent Rollins on YouTube, he cooks up some mean stuff, man. And he's old cowboy. His channel's called Cowboy Kent Rollins, but he does a lot of country cooking stuff. Like he does that a lot. He'll cook stuff like here's how they made biscuits and gravy on the trail back then, and he'll do his little twist on it, and pretty good stuff.
You hungry, Moto? Moto might need
He said, "Stop talking about food."
He's starving.
For real, I'm making myself hungry. Have to get me a little snack.
Graveyard prospecting, good seeing you. Oh yeah. Heavy Meadow, thank you for the super chat, and thank you, Josh, for the super chat. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Where is it? I got this little thing I made.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
make
super chat.
Heavy Meadow Detective, bro.
What's up, Heavy Meadow?
Colin's a good guy. Good seeing you, Mitch. Thank you, Paul. I think so. The show, his last show was, oh, what did I say it was? November 16th, 2021 was the last time you were on with us back in the old days.
Man, that's old school.
With Toledo Jazz, Dano, and Rose Nose.
Yep, Toledo Jazz. Yeah, that was, I mean, the pandemic was kind of still going on during that time, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
You know, that's crazy. It just seems like yesterday, 2021. Wow. 2026, the middle of 2026.
Time flies, dude.
This, yeah, Tuesday night hangout, man. You've been having it running for, you said what, 9 years now? That's
Close,
awesome.
close. Actually, June 22nd. So this year, the 22nd's on a Monday, but that would be the 9th year anniversary.
And I think, you know, everybody's been on this live stream, this Tuesday night hangout. I mean, a lot of people over the years I've seen on here, a lot of big YouTubers, a lot of small ones, mix and match that I've seen on here. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on and stuff and getting to hang out and everybody who stopped by.
Not a problem, Matt. I've enjoyed having you on, and you made my job really easy. And a lot of us prospectors, any treasure hunter, uh, history goes so hand in hand with both lifestyles, you know.
Yeah.
It-
I've seen some guys kill it at the old mining camps, man. You ever heard of guys doing that? They'll find out where the old 1840s, 1850s, 1860s mining camps were, and they go out and research the area and find those sites, and they do a good job at those sites.
There's a legend. I should talk to some people from Northwest Washington because I used to prospect the South Fork Nooksack River a lot. And there's a tributary to that river called Skookum Creek. And at one time, there was quite a bit of excitement on Skookum Creek called the Skookum Stampede. It's up in Whatcom County, Washington. But there's a story of a group of prospectors up in the canyon, and they were wiped out by the Sumas tribe.
I've heard of accounts like that. Wow.
And if you could find their camp, the problem with Western Washington, it's really wet and it's really lush, and things get buried in the briars and the flora fauna in the mountains, you know what I mean?
Right.
Things, they don't last quite as long as in other parts of the state, like east of the Cascades, where it'd be more arid. but if they could go up and find their poke, I would look under their, if you could find their fire pit, I'd look under the fire pit, because a lot of miners and prospectors and stuff and travelers would hide their gold actually in the under the fire pit.
Really? I've never heard of that. That's crazy. Wonder where,
Well,
why would they hide it there? Like, wouldn't it melt? Or did they put it far enough underneath it that
if they
it,
put it far enough down, it ain't gonna melt, and it's
oh yeah.
safe. It's safe.
I would never think to look there. Yeah, that's a good
And
hiding spot.
like if you come across old shanty towns and stuff, or out in the desert, you find these can dumps. Sometimes
You there? Did you freeze? Can you hear me now?
are you back?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. I don't know if you could hear me, but you froze.
I've lost internet 3 times so far.
Oh, really? That's the first time that you froze on me that I've seen.
Yeah, lightning storms, storms from like 6 o'clock have been hammering us.
We got rain here and stuff too right now.
Yeah, I know. I lost my internet, Stacy. Third time.
He was
Third
like,
time.
locked up.
It happens. The joys.
I didn't know
The
if you could hear
joys
me or
of
not,
live.
but you was frozen.
The joys of live streaming, Matt. The joys of live streaming.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yep, second time, man. It was a pleasure. Like I said, there's been a lot of people on here. And proud to be on here and talk history and from one treasure hunter to another, brother.
Yeah, from what I've seen in the live chat, they loved you, man. They loved you. Great guests, a ton of people said. Yeah.
I couldn't even see the live chat tonight, so thank you guys. And if you're in there and you said hi, hello, I couldn't see the chat.
He's on his phone, people. So, Dorothy Richardson, Dot, awesome person. She said, great show for sure. Thank you, Dot. And it was great seeing you again Saturday.
Awesome.
Great job tonight, Matt. I could sit with you and talk about history all night. I hear you, Larry.
Yeah, Larry, dude, he's a good guy. He could be like my long lost brother, man. Me and him could definitely talk about history all night.
Georgianne, great seeing you Saturday. Thank you, Stacy. Well, next week, I was gonna reschedule John and Brian back from prospectormap.com, but I think I'm pushing them back into June sometime. So if that's the case, next week will be an open line. No, it won't be an open line. Tuesday, that's the first one of the month. I'll see what I can do. Because that's how schedule goes sometimes. Everybody keep my friend Cancerman AUS, aka Adventure Gold, in your thoughts and prayers. Normally, we would be having another series of modern gold mining methods, but you know, yeah, all of you know what's going on with Andrew. So, and of course, with his new handle, that's a big clue. So just keep Andrew in your prayers for me, please. Soon, soon. I want to pan it out, dude. I want to pan it out.
Pan it
I
out.
mean, yeah, I do have a rock crusher I made, but I'll pan out the spider mine stuff. Gotta like dirt, especially when it has gold in it. Too short of an episode. Oh, we're only 10 minutes short. Okay, everybody. This will fill it up. Rock Crusher, let me see yours. I have a video on it in the shed with Ed video. So, but you'll see it. You'll see it. I have a sticker pack that I'm willing to give away again like normal. If you can type in the chat room, Matt, you could get in on this.
I'm good. Let somebody else win it.
But there's one of my little channel stickers there. You're going to get a bunch of 8-year anniversaries, like 3 or 4 of those. 6-year sticker. Did I say anniversary? 8-year sticker, a Jeffrey Button sticker. This is the one and only Mandy's Candy sticker that I'm ever gonna give out.
Oh
Because,
man, she's awesome. She always shares my videos and stuff. Like she's
oh,
cool.
Mandy's great.
Mm-hmm.
I have one sticker on there, and I have one sticker go out on my shed, in my shed, on the sticker wall,
Yeah,
and I have this
she
one.
always comments on my videos, so she is a regular.
Then I got one of Creed's stickers from Aqua Donkey. He gave me a few. 9 Finger Miner from Alaska does a bunch of cool 3D printing and making, does all kinds of cool stuff. Then the creator of Creek Drops, Calvin from the Modern Michigan Prospector. Then you get some stickers that were gonna be exclusive for Rose Nose Monkey Fest, but I have 50 of them, so I have to give them away. But the only way, if Rose was still able to have Rose Nose Monkey Fest, if it worked out to be the only way you would have been able to get this sticker was going. But since there is no Rose Nose Monkey Fest, I'm giving away here. So you have 2 of those. Then my newest channel sticker. Then another 8-year. Then a Mega Dog 555. Was good seeing you. Saturday also Mega Dog. And then my friend from British Columbia, the Okanagan, Paul from Hot Dog Digs. So that will be in this week's sticker pack. After party with Mr. Lodak on Zoom. He's putting a link in the chat. I'm making a rock crusher. Let me see yours. I saw that already. It's out in my shed, Moto. I'll take a picture of it. I do have a video years back. I'm sure you could find it really easy. It's powered by my air hammer. It works really well. Works really well. Sure you don't want to get on this, Matt? You'd have
Oh, I'm
you'd have,
good.
you would have to chat, type something. So
It's okay. Just let them have at it. It's fine. If he's giving away an ounce of gold, though, I might have to hop.
maybe I'll give you a send you a sticker package.
Yeah.
Send me your.
Give me some free pay dirt.
No, I don't know about that. Gold's expensive.
Oh man, I know it. What is gold right now for an ounce?
Mr. Lodak, what's gold right now?
Pushing 500.
4,500 something? 4,700? Dolly Pot powered by grandkids. There you are, David Via's like, send dirt. Just because I sent you dirt. Do you have a gold pan, Matt?
Don't make fun of me, but no, I don't. Yeah, I'm a total novice when it comes to panning gold, man. So I'm a metal detectorist, but however, doesn't mean that I don't want to. I want to try, but as far as I know, there's nowhere to pan gold in my area. But that's something that I would like to do someday.
Illinois does have some glacial gold. Missouri has gold. The Ozarks actually had a small gold rush at one time.
Really, the Ozarks.
Yeah.
That don't surprise me. It's so rocky and stuff in that area.
It's not far from you either, really.
Yeah, that's
Rose,
like what?
I don't
Southeast
know,
Missouri?
Rose. How far is the Ozarks from you, Missouri?
Is that in Branson area, kind of?
See, there are some areas in Missouri not far from you.
Okay.
Gold right now is 44.82 and 11 cents. Thank you another time.
It went down, didn't it?
Yeah, it went down. Oh,
that's still a lot. Just think, if you got 1 ounce of gold right now, that's a little down payment on a car.
Let's try this again, friends, because it wasn't collecting stuff. There's Ski Searcher. There's Sticker. There we go. It's counting them now. It's about 1 mile to Ozark, Missouri for me. 0.1 mile.
How far is it from, I wonder how far it is from St. Louis.
Madison County, Missouri.
Madison. Well, I know that there's Southeast Missouri, and I know they call that the Ozarks. And then you got Ozarks over there by Lake of the Ozarks, and it's kind of pushing towards Branson, Missouri. So I think 2 areas called the Ozarks. I could be wrong.
1 hour 45 minutes from St. Louis.
Okay.
Southeast,
right
on.
It
is southeast.
So
southeast.
That's where I was for that metal detecting event at the Show Me Treasure Hunt. That's Southeast Missouri. And you know what? It's crazy because when I cross over from Illinois, and I've been to Missouri many times, I just never been in that section of Missouri. So I crossed over from Chester, Illinois, and I crossed the Mississippi River. The farmland almost stopped completely. I stopped seeing farm fields everywhere like I did in Illinois. And as soon as you cross the Mississippi, it was just hills and rocky terrain. It really blew me away. It was really beautiful. I was like, this is really on the other side of the Mississippi right here from Illinois. So with it having that really rocky terrain and stuff, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some gold hiding in them rock formations and stuff and in their rivers and stuff.
There was actually a little gold rush in Missouri.
The St. Francis River ran right through where I camped at. And a lot of them Civil War troops were skirmishing in that area along the St. Francis River. So yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'll have to do some researching on that.
Look what Larry says. I've never panned either, but I have the equipment now and a potential hot spot of 500 acres on the river where gold is found.
That don't surprise me that Larry knows where some gold might be around there because he's from Missouri, kind of in that area.
I thought you've been out with Gentleman Prospector and Mama Bird, Larry. The Ozark spans 50,000 square miles. I believe it.
Yeah, that's huge. It gets straight desolate around that area.
I know we say this every time, Rose says, but we really got to meet up sometime.
Yeah, I still haven't met Rose, but I remember talking to her in your live stream before, years ago.
Right.
Whenever she's with Treasure Vixens, we were supposed to meet up sometime and do some magnet fishing.
Rose is awesome too. She's totally awesome.
Yeah, I used to watch her channel, Treasure Vixens, years ago. They used to magnet fish the bridges and stuff.
Yeah, she don't like magnet fishing Ohio. She never finds much. It's probably because we're too rural and we're not by Toledo or Cleveland or something like that, where they'd be throwing guns in the river.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I don't want to find a gun, so unless it was like
I'd rather find a Civil War sword or something.
That's what if I would, I want to find a cannonball or like maybe an antique gun. Like a Civil War, like a musket or something like that in the river. But like finding like a modern gun, like a murder weapon, that don't interest me one bit. I don't want to find that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people think it's cool, but I don't know. That's just not my thing.
That seems to be like the goal. The holy grail of magnet fishing, watching other channels and stuff. Is gun. This could be a murder weapon or blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to find that stuff.
Right.
I want to find a cowboy pistol from the 1860s. That's what I want to
find. That'd be cool. Finding a peacemaker or a saber.
Yeah. Something historic.
Or a Wells Fargo strong box. Yeah.
A treasure chest full of gold coins. Oh.
Gold and silver, buddy. Gold and silver. All right, we got a couple of minutes left. Well, not even that. 30 seconds left, and I'm going to send it. So, magnet fishing in my area of Ohio is useless. Too many scrappers treat that iron like cash here, Bill says.
I only find old rusty stuff every time I...
What came of the poll earlier? I don't know. I'll see if I can pull it up.
Barb Dirt Pirate.
Barb Dirt Pirate. Got to be here, claim it. You got a minute to claim it, Barb. If you don't claim it, you're going to get McClured. Barb, claim it there? No, not yet. I don't see her yet. Well, I'm not going to congratulate her till I see her. Because, here she is.
There she
All
is.
right on. Congratulations, Barb. I believe I have your address, Barb. So I should, for how many times I sent you stuff, I should. But congratulations, Barb. Thank you for being here tonight.
Barb, you want an ounce of gold? No.
She found an ounce of gold. Barb found a nice gold coin. If Barb can find one, you can.
She did find one, didn't she? I remember her saying something about that. I seen that.
All of you awesome people, thank you for joining Matt and I tonight.
That's something that's on my list too, a gold coin. I want to find a gold coin or a Civil War buckle. That's on my list. That's probably on everybody's list, but would love to find that. Would love to find an old coin on the Goshen Trail that I melotech. That would be awesome. I'm surprised I ain't found one in the ghost towns that I do. All the ghost towns I do, I figure I found at least a gold coin, but I'm sure it's out there. I dig a lot of mid-tones, a lot of low tones. I dig everything when I'm out there usually, and still haven't found one.
1853 $1 gold coin. You can send that to me with my lumberyard token you're gonna send me, Barb. I've been bugging her about the token forever. She'll say no. I about guarantee it. No.
I found some 1853 half times. I found like 3 of those, but I've never found a gold coin yet. I found 4 trimes. I found a lot of flying eagles, probably 4 or 5 flying eagles. So those are hard to find, trimes and flying eagles. I found 3 Morgan dollars.
Oh, wow. I've only found a Eisenhower dollar, I think. It was clad. It wasn't silver.
I found a Sacagawea once, gold dollar.
Well,
not real gold, but plated gold,
I found a presidential dollar in a Sacagawea before. I found silver quarters and silver dimes. But
I need to find a cat bust anything. I haven't found a cat bust coin yet, but like I said, the East Coast people find them all the time.
You found 3 trimes.
4. I found 4 trimes. I did find a half rail. I have found 1 Spanish. A half rail is almost completely white. It had a hole in it. But, so that's my oldest silver coin I found. But yeah, my buddy, he found it was on my site. He found a Spanish dollar. It was 1801. I think it's counterfeit though, because when it came out, it was like really greenish, like it looked like a copper when it came out, and we just thought it was a big copper, so we started wiping off the dirt, and it was a Spanish dollar, in 8 Rael, but I think that if it was real, it was one of the ones they made. The Spanish started skimping the silver in some of their coins, and I think it didn't have enough silver content in it to hold true in the ground. Being in the ground, 200 years or so, or it was 1801. But it was real.
Yeah, because that silver should have turned black and not.
I think he did electrolysis on it, and it turned silver. But when it came out of the ground, it looked like a copper. It was weird.
Well,
it was crazy because we were meloteching the site. It was the old homestead, on a pioneer trail, but like it was the hill behind where this cabin used to sit, and the hill, it barely just had any iron on the hill. We started finding a little bit of flat buttons. He found a freaking sterling silver spoon, and then boom, he popped that 8 Rael. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, I hit that hill like maybe once, just scanning it because I didn't think nothing was really there. But we were
For,
going low and slow.
for many, many years, Spanish silver was used all throughout the country.
U.S. currency up until about, I think, 1857, and they had that coinage act. They stopped usage of Spanish coins as U.S. currency. Yeah.
I hate to say this, Matt, because I've been enjoying your company and everybody in the live chat, but I do have to wake up at 4:15.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, we were supposed to only do 30 minutes.
Right, and look what 2 hours and 10 now. Time
2
flies
hours later.
when you're having a good time, huh, Matt?
Yeah, it's all good. Like I ended up not knocking some stuff out, so I had more time anyway, so it's all good. I enjoyed it.
Well, I appreciate it, my friend. All of you out there, thank you very much for joining Matt and I on this Tuesday night Hangout Live. Next week, again, I really don't know what I'm doing next week, but regardless. But regardless, I'll be live for you, David Villa. I told David Villa I'll try to make it 10 years on the show. We'll see.
You'll have to do a big show for the 10. You have to give it. You will have to give out an ounce of gold at the 10-year, Ed, huh? Hey, maybe not an ounce, but maybe a little nugget or something.
Maybe something. If anyone's wanting to sponsor my 10-year anniversary show, you know how to contact me. Barb, I'll get that address out and get it sent out to you. Matt, thanks again. Thank you to all the awesome super chatters, Heavy Meadow Detective and Tomcat Josh. All of you are absolutely awesome. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan. And you know what I like to say because it does happen. Oh, I need to do this, David Villa. You're right. I need to end the poll. Do you only metal detect? 13% said they only metal detect. 17% say they only prospect. 70% said they do both. I'm one of the 70%. But there's the end of the poll. The Frankendredge. I don't even own Frankendredge anymore, Bill. So, out of 60 votes, there you go. Most of you do both. Okay. I hope to meet you someday on the river because it does happen. That's why I say it. Ask Rose. Ask Ohio Relic Hunter. Ask Keith. So many you could ask. It does happen. Until next time, I think it's about time to say we're out of here.
Tuesday night Hangout Live, we've had our fun. The battery was strong, the night's been won. Thanks for tuning in, we'll see you soon. Tuesday night Hangout Live is for all of you. FlashFam forever. We'll keep the fight. Catch us next time. Let's keep
Night
it
comes to a
live.
close. We're feeling great. FlashFam is together. Whenever it feels just right. The wonderful guests, good times are so much fun. Tuesday Night Hangout Live will turn very soon. Thank you for joining us. It's been a fantastic time. Camaraderie is strong, and we're built to last. Till next time, we look forward to seeing you again. Tuesday Night Hangout Live will be back soon. Give us a like. Don't say goodbye. Just see you later. FlashFam forever. Until we meet again.